The Hunger Games. How brilliant, right? Okay, so I started rereading The Hunger Games last night. So this is technically day 2 of rereading The Hunger Games. And let me tell you, I have wanted to read the prequel, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Look at how thick that is, right? For so long. I was one of the first people to receive the book because I got it on pre-order and received it at the beginning of the pandemic. But I haven't gotten around to reading it yet, and I have been so desperate to do so, but I wanted to reread the original trilogy first, just so I got like I could read the original trilogy for one last time before having any sort of to have my memory of the book distorted. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean. But I can never get through rereading it, simply because The Hunger Games and Catching Fire I have reread 101 times since I was 9 years old. I've owned this original book set since 2013. December of 2013 was a Christmas gift to 10-year-old me, so that I think that this year is going to be a decade old. That is so old, oh my gosh, and that's insane to me. But Catching Fire is like the pageantry of what the world is, and then Mockingjay is such a difficult read, not because of like comprehension levels, but like of how the themes are, how bad the themes are, how good the themes are. But they're like a lot of characters in these books have plot armor, but then this book, they don't have that plot armor, and it's such a difficult read because of that. And I haven't reread this book as many times as I have these books. So the last time I tried to reread them, to read Songbirds and Snakes, was last year, just over a year ago, over Christmas. And I read this and then stopped at Mockingjay again, like I always do. And now I'm trying to reread them, and I think that if I try and do, if I film it, then I will hold myself more accountable. For everyone who is like me, and hasn't read Songbirds and Snakes yet, there will be no spoilers for that novel. It will be spoiler free. However, the original trilogy will have spoilers in this video, so if you haven't read it yet but you do intend to at some point, please don't come back and watch this video once you have read the original trilogy, because it is great. It's amazing. I don't want to spoil anything for you if you haven't read it yet. Where am I up to? I'm only up to chapter 5. I haven't read that much, but I'm trying to let myself crave reading again, because it's been so long since I read religiously like I did as a kid. You know, you grow up and it gets harder to read all the time, you know, you're always busy with adult responsibilities. And part 1, the tributes, I really like that this is separated into parts. I always forget that. But chapter 5, and getting up to there, it reminded me how much of a pick-me Gale Hawthorne is. It's true. And also, one thing I did also notice, Peter Malark is always referred to as Peter Malark at the beginning, like his full name, or the baker's son, and that's such an interesting transition. I'm gonna go and read this, update you guys once I've gone into the next part. I think there are 3 parts in this entire novel, and the next part will be coming up. I think we'll know what the ending of the next part is, of the first part. What the ending of the first part is. We'll know here what that is. It's late on day 3 and I'm up to chapter 11 at the moment. I just read chapter 10, which is the beginning of the second part, I believe. Yeah, so we're up to part 2, the games, and then we have Peter blushes beet red and stammers out because she came here with me about Katniss. I have so much to be saying about this, but it's way too late for me to be talking about it. Okay, I'm just gonna read, and then I'll catch up on day 4. I'm gonna read this. 60 seconds. I am about halfway through this book. Yeah, I'd be about halfway. I'm up to chapter 14, and there's 27 chapters in it. I keep filming these really late at night because I'm doing stuff through the day, but I read really late into the night. But I'll be reading tonight on day 4 and halfway through. It's pretty impressive. I don't read that fast anymore. Okay, see you on day 5. Today is day 6 of reading The Hunger Games. I'm just a little over halfway through, and I did not read yesterday because I had to be up early, and by the time I got home I was very tired, so I haven't read much. I will likely read before bed, and I think I could probably get through the rest of it. Oh, hang on, I just saw part 3. I thought there wasn't another part, so I have a little bit more to go until part 3, which finishes at chapter 18, The Victor. I reckon I could finish this in 2 days, in the next 2 days, if I could really, or even like a couple hours if I really carved out the time for it. I'm trying to make YouTube videos at the same time, but the thing is I kind of want to watch, you're gonna be able to see it, I kind of want to watch Moon Knight, so maybe I might do that instead of reading tonight and just try and finish it tomorrow. Yeah, maybe. We'll see what ends up happening. I do want to get it finish reading it as fast as possible, though, and it's not even how fast I can read now after not reading for so long. It's more like how much time I leave carved out for it, which isn't much time since I have like university work and stuff. Check back on day 7. Hopefully I finish the first book by then, and then I have so many theories, so many things to say about the first book upon a reread, one of my 1000th rereads. So I will let you guys know about all those theories once I finish reading this one. Where are we up to? Part 3, The Victor. Before I can stop myself, I call out Peter's name. We're up to the part where Katniss saves Peter. I just read the section where Rue dies. A moment of silence. Okay, moment over. Sad days. Even sadder days when Prim dies. Oh, spoilers. I will definitely have this done by tomorrow. I just woke up really late. It's day 7, by the way. I just woke up really late today and I got through a couple of chapters. I've been reading for maybe an hour each day, so like 7 hours all up. So that's pretty good for me now. I read pretty fast, but not as fast as I used to, and I really want to get back to that. So practice makes perfect. Start with the books that you're used to, and that's what I try to do. I always circle back to The Hunger Games because it's an easy read now since I've read it so many times and know so many facts. I love it so much that I can easily get into the book series without having to struggle with it. I should manage to finish this today and start catching fire, which would be great. My theories, I forgot about my theories. So it seems to be common knowledge to everyone else, but apparently I only just figured it out after a decade of reading The Hunger Games. From the beginning, Peter's thoughts from the moment he became a tribute, he was thinking, I can't be Katniss, I don't want to be Katniss, what do I do, you know, and meeting Haymitch, and from the part where Haymitch throws up on the floor and they go and clean him up, and Peter's like, I will clean him up, take him into his room, that sort of thing, on the first night when they're on the train. Obviously, Peter had a discussion with Haymitch about how he's in love with Katniss Everdeen and needs to protect her, not thinking that everything would turn into whatever it is, right? My theory, though, goes further than this, is that Haymitch and all the other previous winning tributes have been waiting for people like Katniss and Peter from the very beginning, and then they saw a chance to have star-crossed lovers and took it, right? And why I think they've been waiting for this particular chance and this coincidence to randomly occur is because Cato and Clove, we've all had canon Cato and Clove to have been like Katniss and Peter, right? So they thought, hey, we have two chances, let's throw them all in and see what works. And the thing is, if Cato and Clove had won, Cato and Clove would have killed each other on the spot upon having the rules changed back, you know, when Katniss and Peter ate that nightlock, or pretended to eat the nightlock. Cato and Clove probably wouldn't have done that, because that wasn't in the District 2 way. You know, Katniss and Peter, it's not even just plot armor. I think Suzanne Collins is a lot smarter than adding plot armor in there for Peter and Katniss, that their lives were just one big coincidence, and they were in the right place at the right time, in their minds probably the wrong time, wrong place, wrong time. But to help everyone in the long run, right place, right time, and happened to save each other in the process. It was one big fat coincidence. I've come across a quote that saddened me. When Peter and Katniss kiss for the first time, and Haymitch sends down a pot of broth for them as a sponsor, saying that you gotta act up, you know, like act up, you gotta make it seem real that they're really in love, right? Peter, I say, trying for the special tone that my mother used only with my father. He dozed off again, but I kiss him awake, which seems to startle him. Then he smiles, as if he'd be happy to lie there gazing at me forever. He's great at this stuff, because he actually is in love with Katniss. Oh, that makes me depresso espresso. So, I didn't actually get through the entire thing. Is this wonky? Yeah, it is. Do I want to fix it? No, actually, I don't. I didn't finish the entire thing, but I did get through a good chunk of it. I am up to chapter 25, I think. Hold on, let me check. 25. I have 25, 26, and 27 left. Hopefully next time we catch up, I'm reading Catching Fire, because as much as this book is great, it has taken me far too long to read it. I need to start giving myself time to read during the day, because this is getting ridiculous. Oh, there she goes. Already, the boy with the bread is slipping away from me. I take his hand, holding on tightly, preparing for the cameras, and dreading the moment when I will finally have to let go. That is a wrap on The Hunger Games, Book 1. Time for Catching Fire. One book down, 3 to go, not 4, 3 to go. That's like so close to Songbirds and Snakes. I'm very excited. I love that book. Catching Fire is Everlock territory, I'm telling you, and I'm excited for that. Am I as giddy about Everlock as the capital people are? Yeah, and I'm okay with that. Catching Fire, bright red. You'll notice that sometimes I have little text marks on that, because I read this when I was 10. No, I didn't draw. I got these when I was 10. I didn't draw on them. It wasn't me, it was my little sisters who rudely took it and drew texters all over them. Okay, let's see. This should be the first part called something. Part 1, The Spark. Okay, that's a good first part, and there's 3 parts to each novel. Now I will catch up with you when I have gotten to maybe a few chapters in, or the second part. We'll see. See you guys. Bye. I don't know. It's really late on day 10, but I have to read you this, what I just read. This is the first couple pages in Catching Fire. Ready? Everyone listen, everyone listen. This is about Gale. As I go along, carefully resetting each snare, about hunting in the woods of District 12, I know I can never quite replicate his eye for balance. Now listen to this. His instinct for where the prey will cross the path. It's more than experience, it's a natural gift. Why does that sound like foreshadowing, that he knows where the prey will cross? I don't know if they bring it back up in Mockingjay, but that's exactly the tactic he uses that kills Prim in the end. I've never picked up on that before. I don't know if I'm looking too far into it, but that's... I just read that and I was like, that sounds like what he did to Prim. Interesting. So I have a few updates. I'm cooking my lunch at the same time as well. I'm eating pasta for lunch, like I usually do. So of course I'm about halfway through Catching Fire, but it's taken a while. So I started reading before the Hunger Games Renaissance, like maybe 2 weeks before. It's been about a month now since I started reading the first book. So eventually I just carved out yesterday to just read. So I got about halfway through. And I say about halfway through because there's 27 chapters, so it's not really a halfway point, obviously, because we're reading chapter by chapter, not stopping in the middle of a chapter like a crazy person. So I am avoiding spoilers for Songbirds and Snakes like freaking wildfire. I don't know anything else to describe that as. I'm trying to avoid it. It's very difficult, very difficult. There are some things I picked up here and there, but they were already speculation that I had. It was stuff we essentially already knew. So that's fine. I'm doing good with that. I'm hoping by the end of the week, it's Sunday right now, I'm hoping by the time it gets to Sunday next week, I'm up to Mockingjay, hopefully about halfway through. At least halfway through, on my way to the end. And then we can start Songbirds and Snakes. Once again, there might be spoilers for Songbirds and Snakes because I think that's unfair. It's not been around as long as the Hunger Games has. It's only been 3 years. A lot of people probably haven't even read it yet either, especially since the movie hasn't come out. So once the movies come out, I'll start giving videos on spoilers of Songbirds and Snakes. So I want to point out one thing I noticed. So when Katniss first meets Plutarch, right? I'm trying to like get myself in frame when I've done horrible with this framing. Plutarch steps back and pulls out a gold watch on a chain from a vest pocket. We all know that ignore that. Ignore it boiling over, okay? What I'm trying to say here is that we all know the watch is, what was I gonna say? It was a clue for what the game arena looked like, right? But gold. What we're paying attention to, that is gold. Do you know what else is gold? Mockingjay pin, Peter's locket, Effie's hair, Haymitch's and eventually Finnick's wristband. Plutarch was an ally from the beginning. Haymitch must have put it in the mind of Effie or something, knowing that Plutarch was going to be an ally in this way, and it was already running that way. And I know the gold Mockingjay was supposed to be fashion at the time, but I think that it definitely means that Plutarch was an ally from the beginning. Strongly believe it. At the moment, I am up to chapter 15, and it is just... I've just read Haymitch's games when Peter and Katniss rewatch Haymitch's games. I'm about at that point. So I will check in periodically. Again, I'm not really sure when I'm going to check back in. But Gail is not one to keep secrets from me. Katniss, there is no District 12. It's been a couple of weeks. I may have neglected to read the last bit of Catching Fire. I have decided when reading Mockingjay, I'm about to go through, relive a lot of deaths. I'm not prepared for it. I haven't read in a good couple of years now because I always finish at Catching Fire and just give up. I just give up. I'm terrified. I think, as I was saying, I'm just going to record every time I cry instead. I think that's a good attitude going forward. Then I'm just gonna film myself crying. Maybe it'll make me not cry as much, you know? I think so. And I feel like this is gonna be like an evolution of my hair growth throughout this video. My hair grows real fast. So I reckon you could probably tell how long it's been from my hair growth alone. It's also really late at night and the lighting's awful because it's just my ceiling fan light. Anyway, onto Mockingjay and then Songbirds and Snakes finally after 3 years of it being published. I'm hyped. It's very late at night and I am reading the first 2 chapters of Mockingjay, so I'm being very quiet. Ignore the pile of clothes on my chair. The first time Katniss sees Peter with the interview with Caesar Flickerman for the first time, and this is the first one, you know, there's multiple as he slowly progresses and gets hijacked by the tracker jackers. Caesar is asking questions saying Katniss blew it out, the force field, you've seen the footage, and then he goes into this tangent of questioning, like, did Katniss know this, did Katniss know that? And it's like, he was actively fighting it from the beginning. Like, I know, we all know he was fighting it, but like, you can actually see it in the book that he was questioning it, that they were feeding him this information, that they were showing him the footage from the beginning, and he was like, this, it's not real, what you're showing me isn't real, that's not what actually happened. And I was like, I'm on the verge of tears reading this, because Peter is getting overwhelmed. He's getting so overwhelmed that he knows that they're manipulating him, because he knows. I'm gonna cry. Oh my god. And this is on, like, my version of the book. It's on page 29. Peter's on his feet, leaning into Caesar's face, hands locked on the arms of his interviewer's chair. Really? And was it part of her plan for Joanna to nearly kill her? With that electric shock to paralyze her, to trigger the bombing? He's yelling now. She didn't know, Caesar. Neither of us knew anything except that we were trying to keep each other alive. That poor boy. He was 17, 18 maybe, a little. He was a child. He was. Oh, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. Oh, part 2, the assault. Here comes Peter. Peter's coming back. I'm so excited. I've missed him in this book. It's one of the reasons I don't like Mockingjay, because there's not enough Peter Malark. So they're in the bunker, right? And they mention she's thinking about Peter warning them. Peter seemed to have been waging a sort of battle in his mind, fighting to get the message out. Why? The ease with which he manipulates words is his greatest talent. Was his difficulty a result of his torture? Something more like madness? I think that's the first time we experience, as the readers, the possibility that Peter's not going to be the same again, and that he's been hijacked before we know what hijacking is. And that makes me sad. This is what Mockingjay, man, I swear to God. I'm so sad. Always when she recalls what Peter told her the night she was she broke her ankle going over the fence and catching fire. I'm done. Always. Stay with me, Peter, always. I'm done. I'm done. Never again. This is taking me forever to read this goddamn book. I almost started crying reading it. Nobody talk to me for another year, okay? No. I'm still adjusting it. My phone. You know what? It's staying there. Part 3. The assassin. Oh, we're almost there, and yes, I'm in my pajamas, okay? I read at night. Do you think I don't even know what to say to that. I am almost there. I am so close to songbirds and snakes. I can taste it. Next time I see you, I'll be done. And yes, it's taken me something like 3 weeks to read this. Want to know why? Because every time Peter is there, I'm miserable. And I need to stop. And I just need to think. Finnick just died. Don't talk to me for 3 to 5 business months. I feel like that last clip didn't really express how extremely devastated I am about Finnick's death. I'd like to state right now that I've read this 1,000 times. This is the first time I've reread Mockingjay in years. I've reread Hunger Games and Catching Fire. She skimmed over it so fast. I can't. See, it comes and goes in waves. Now I'm perfectly fine because I decided to express that. Oh my god. Prim. Her little untucked tail. She had like when the Hunger Games, Katniss told her to tuck in her little tail. Oh my god. And compared to her hood duck, Katniss noticed that. Usually I cry at like the buttercup part. I'm not sure I'll be wailing, but that made me emotional. About what I need to survive is not Gale's fire, kindled with rage and hatred, because we hate Gale. I have plenty of fire myself. What I need is the dandelion in the spring. Bright yellow, that means rebirth instead of destruction. The promise that life can go on, no matter how bad our losses. That it can be good again, and only Peter can give me that. So after, when he whispers, "You love me," real or not real, I tell him, real. But there is much worse games to play. I'm not good. Every time I read this book series, I'm like, what the hell am I gonna do with my life now? It just feels so real, Mockingjay. You know, I have this time. Something to make it worse. That's what I have this time around. It's so dark. I'm almost finished. I'm on chapter, hold on, 27, okay? I just imagine my surprise in part 3. I'm not gonna say what it is, but part 3, that was, what the heck? This book is insane. It is crazy. Right, I finished reading Songbirds and Snakes, not last night, the night before, and without giving away any spoilers because the movie hasn't come out yet, that was the most insane ending I have ever read in my entire life. I feel like I've gone through the 5 stages of grief. Finally, I'm at acceptance. Although I am still devastated over some of those deaths. Absolutely devastated. That was pure trauma, that novel. That is like as a loud bird, that's like a every 5 years reread. Not every year like the Hunger Games. I usually reread the Hunger Games like once a year. Not the prequel though. That's not getting added to the list. That was insane. I might reread it before the movie comes out if I can mentally handle it. If I'm in like a mentally good spot, maybe I'll reread it. And let me remind you, this video for you started what, like 15 minutes ago, something like that, right? I actually don't know how long it's gonna end up, but yeah, this started 5 months ago for me. I started reading this at the end of February. It is now June 19th, I believe. This is going out this Wednesday. It took me almost 5 months to finish that novel, that novel series, all of them. I definitely want to, after rereading that entire series, I definitely want to go back and analyze it. I have a series coming out for an in-depth analysis of the movies, but then I want to do in-depth analysis of the book, and then probably the differences between the movies and the books. But we'll hold off on the prequel. We'll hold off on the prequel until the movie comes out. I feel so traumatized over that book. I didn't think it was gonna be, like, I knew it had to be messed up, but I didn't think it was gonna be that kind of messed up. But I still love the Hunger Games. It's still my favorite series. Also, Songbirds and Snakes is probably, it's insanely well written for it to traumatize me that bad. I've been in a state of shock. I'm still in a complete state of shock over it. Alright, hopefully you guys enjoyed this reading vlog. I will be coming up with more reading vlogs every other week, because reading and writing vlogs alternate every week. I will be reading something else. Probably, I have some Jane Austen books I want to read, so it'll probably be one of those ones. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, this vlog. Once again, it took me 5 months to film, so you better damn appreciate it. I will be talking a lot about the Hunger Games for the rest of the year, for the next 6 months. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe for more Hunger Games content. I have been CJ, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!